Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to OLC TV for some more Total War 3 Kingdoms, the new Fates Divided DLC. Big thank you to CA for giving me this early, this time with our Yuan Shao preview. So, Yuan Shao has had a really big revamp. As you can see, he has a whole host of unique characters. We have Yuan Shang, who is his son, who would eventually take over following his death, though he does have other sons as well. They're not part of his faction, they are vassals. He has Liang, he has Wen Chou, his two trusted commanders, and he has Zhang He as well. Now, he has a unique resource now, lineage. And, well, not unique now, but he has this unique resource, lineage, that can be used to forge alliances, recruit new characters, improve occupation, and generally help things out. What it can also do is boost higher tiers in the captain's armory, because of course he can recruit lots of captain retinues. He has the warriors of Ye and he has the defenders of Hebei, but they are not the only unique soldiers he has now. The captain's armory we will discuss in game. His character, he's arrogant, he's charismatic, he's vain, he has a decent reinforcement range, he has a reduced reduction cost for spear infantry because of course he famously used a good number of spear and crossbow infantry. And he has +3 starting rank for polearm infantry recruits. That is incredible in the early game. So Yuan Shao has consolidated all of northern China under his noble rule, and now turns his gaze upon those who would conspire against his just ambition. The fading of one's dynasty may give rise to another, yet he is barred by Cao Cao, who controls the emperor and holds the lands south of the river. Although both swear fealty to the Han, their twin ambitions are straining at the seams. It would certainly come to war, and there is no doubt Yuan Shao must prevail. So let's have a look at this map. So as you can see, Gongsun Zan has been defeated. All that's left is his ally, Zhang Yan, the king of Black Mountain. Now, Zhang Yan is basically baby's first battle in this. He's not really that much of a threat, so we're not going to worry too much about him. Up here, we have Gongsun Du. Immediately above us, we have the middle son, Yuan Shi, who was basically put as the governor of the north, taking over Gongsun Zan and Liu Yu's former territories. Over here, we have Yuan Tan, who is the eldest son, but not the heir. And then here we have the nephew, Gao Gan, holding the territory. Cao Cao, in this big pink thing here, holds a good chunk of land against us, and he has a vassal. But we have allies. We have allies in Gongdu, the bandit yellow turban leader in Runan, which is the Yuan family territories as well, Runan. And we have Liu Bay. Now, Liu Bay, as I've discussed in my Cao Cao preview, should not be here. He should be with Yuan Shao as a general who then goes to work with Gongdu. But that really doesn't matter. We have our allies. It sets the scene very, very nicely. Because of our vassals being where they are, and because of how Cao Cao is set up and how our armies are, the game wants us to punch straight down, as Yuan Shao did, into Guandu, which is just north of Shu, sort of here. It's hard. It's very, very hard to do that. I think there are better ways than doing it than the game wants you to, but that doesn't matter at all. It's a lot of fun. So let's go in and have a look at Yuan Shao in this new DLC.
时势造英雄。然，英雄与奸雄，仅一线之隔。纵是天纵之才，孤掌亦将难鸣，只可为一时之杰。人尽事则，自然之理。但智者当知晓， 何时应搁置野心，共图大业。弱肉强食尽，分道扬镳时。生死存亡之局拉开帷幕，中焉之战，唯有一人能笑到最后。族诸侯，启禀主公，河北百姓无不奉您为主，但在河对岸，还有一贼子妄图挑战您的威严——曹操。他的领土广阔，兵力雄厚，人才济济，连天子也被他挟持借势。但您不必独自面对如此强敌，南方也有数股势力愿意与您联手抗曹，其中以刘关张三人最为出色，或许能派人游说他们永远加入您的麾下。但在此之前，主公还有内务需要处置。您的子嗣正为了继承权争斗不休，此事一刻不盖棺定论，便一刻不得安宁。此外，您已将西边的张燕撵出黑山，但需在他重新集聚一群神出鬼没的贼寇之前，斩尽杀绝。主公乃元氏之龙，龙吟之声可定天下之乱。纵观宇内，唯有您才能治乱安危。
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are, the storm in the north. Cao Cao must be brought to justice. No longer shall he hold the emperor as a hostage. He is nothing more than the tyrants before him and will be brought low. You have strong forces, powerful allies, and a large estate. There is nothing, no one who can challenge you now. Grind Cao Cao into the dust. Jiang Yan is a threat from within and must be defeated, and you must keep your officers loyal or they will defect. This is a major issue for him. The opening move. Across the Yellow River lies a region of great importance that will aid in establishing a strong battlefront on your enemy's territory. Crossing the river is a bold task, and there will be surely losses as you advance. But the gain from holding regions flanking both sides of the river will allow easy crossing for your forces as the war unravels. You must strike quickly. So we need to capture Dong. Cao Cao has the opposite one where he needs to capture Hene Jiaoge. So thinning the herd, Cao Cao has the same idea of this one as well. The enemy's forces advance upon your lands with fire in their hearts. Admirable but foolish, their numbers must be culled should you seek to truly weaken the foe. Each defeat they suffer will bring you one step closer to victory. Good. Right, that is our situation. Now, have a look here. We have some cool new toys. Yuan Shao, of course, as we know, pretty tasty commander. All in all, he's very, very solid. He's got distant courage, it's unyielding earth, familial conflict. Actually, if there are other Yuan clan members on the battlefield, he will push himself to greater feats, as will they. It's quite nice. Anyway, we have these, the new Vanguard Spearman. They're all rounders. They have themselves I think it's a crossbow weapon, if I remember rightly. And they're heavy spear troops. They're fantastic. They're truly fantastic. And I think these guys are based on the soldiers that we used to defeat Gongsun Zan at the Battle of Jieqiao, and then later on in subsequent battles. And they are really, really good. You also have the Vanguard Crossbows, which are sort of, if these guys are your spear version, these guys are a sword version. These guys are more archery, these guys are more melee-y, if that makes sense. But they're very similar troop types. What we also have are the Xiongnu Noble Cavalry. Why do we have Xiongnu Noble Cavalry? Because Yuan Shao made an alliance with the southern Xiongnu king who would join him in the campaign. That is why we have quite a lot of Xiongnu Cavalry in this force. We also got some White Horse Raiders. Slightly more questionable this one, the White Horse Raiders were gone. Like, the White Horses were gone by this stage. However, that doesn't mean that other similar troop types were not being used. So I can sort of understand it, though perhaps they could have just been horse archers, methinks. Anyway, our man here, Yan Liang, who has been given a new, unique upgrade, has these White Horse Raiders. He also has the Liang Daring Infantry, who were... To be honest, I'm not 100% certain what these guys are supposed to be. I think they're based on multiple units. I did watch Serious Trivia's unpacking of them, and I think he's probably right in that they are supposed to be these convicts who are given a last chance, so they are sort of this shock unit that are used on the battlefield, but they're not the ones that came from Liang. So, I'm with him. I'm not 100% certain, but I think that's what they're based on, and they've just got the name wrong. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. They are quite potent assault troops, but they have no real defense against missiles whatsoever. He has the defense of levity, which is a sort of joke because it's his frivolous nature, his mucking about that actually ended up with him dying in certainly in Romance of the Three Kingdoms, though historically things were a little bit more nuanced. They certainly played a part in that. And he is a very solid vanguard. Unlike Cao Cao's troops, who nearly always have these unlocked, Yuan Shao's, I've noticed, nearly always have these unlocked. Don't know why that is the case, but anyway, they do. And he's very, very solid. Alongside here, we have Zhu Shou, who is... When they were saying that Yuan Shao was going to get a unique strategist, I was thinking, he has so many strategists. Any one of them could be unique. Yeah, none of them are. It's someone who you didn't expect when you think about it, though I don't actually have a problem with Lady Jen being unique. I just wish they had also done it for at least Shuyo, but hey, doesn't matter. He's here. He's not a great battlefield strategist, to be honest, but he was an important part of Yuan Shao's council at the time. If we have a quick look at the rest of the map, over here in Wei, we have Zhang He. Now, Zhang He was formerly a vanguard. He has been switched to be a sentinel. This now means that every single one of Cao Cao's 5 elites were made sentinels. There's reasons for this, and I think we need to take our mind out of the concept that each of these people should fit into a pigeonhole of either being a sentinel or a champion or a strategist or whatever. Actually, Zhang He would probably be best described as a cross between a sentinel and a strategist anyway. He was extremely fast moving, which did sort of work with the with being a vanguard, but that was more to do with the fact that he was part of the greater army of Shuhuan for much of his career with Cao Cao. Actually, he was used as a vanguard very often, and he was used as a rearguard very often. In fact, all of the 5 elites were, and that is why they were picked up as being this 5 elite by later historians. He was an extremely talented, flexible, creative commander, and they have him as a cross between a sentinel and a strategist in this, which I think works quite nicely. He has geographic mastery, which is very much more of a strategist type ability, 100% forest spotting, charge resistance, speed. He's similar to Guojia in that. He has tenacity of steel, which of course is excellent, and he has tempered deflection. This is key for him. This is absolutely key. He also has the rule, this quite tasty spear here, and his own unique armor. He is extremely good, but you can see his morale is not great, and it drops quite fast if you make the wrong decisions, because he is famous for betraying Yuan Shao and joining Cao Cao. In his army, you have Shuyo, who is another one who betrayed and joined. Now, I thought he was going to be the one they made unique. They did not. He's cunning, arrogant, and suspicious. He was a decent strategist, but again, he's not a great battlefield strategist in this, I have to say. And he knew Cao Cao from a young age. Eventually, Cao Cao would have him executed for being overly familiar, but his knowledge of Yuan Shao's supplies and strategic positioning certainly helped. It basically set up what would then cause Zhang He to join Cao Cao, and led to the downfall of Yuan Shao's forces at Guandu. Though I have to say, a lot of people think Guandu was this decisive battle that allowed Cao Cao to win the north. That is not the case. Yes, Yuan Shao did die quite quickly afterwards, but he did manage to fall back with a good chunk of his army, and the Yuan brothers were doing a very good job of resisting Cao Cao until Cao Cao backed off and let them fight amongst themselves. Okay, which he got from advice from people who had betrayed Yuan Shao. As well, that wasn't Cao Cao's idea. He got that from advice, though he had to implement it. And this army's pretty good. What they also have is Yuan Shao, the fierce firebrand, the legendary champion. He unfortunately has no special weapons, which is a shame. And he has these traits here, which frankly I don't like in someone who's supposed to fight. But what he does have is Sequencer, which is a decent bow. So he's a sort of equivalent to Tauren in how they've done him. He's relentless, he's brave, he's reckless. And he should be loyal to a fault to you throughout this campaign. Up here, we have Yuan Shang, who is the heir. Now, he has a crap army, and he has a captain retinue here. And for him, you just need him to go and deal with Jiang Yang. Jiang Yang has crap all and will be easily smashed into oblivion. Up in the north, you have Yuan Shi, who has nothing unique about him, but he is a great buffer against Gongsun Du, because Gongsun Du is just going to be a thorn in your side until they start to create the Xianbei and the Wuhuan to create problems. Basically, he's going to be an arse hat and creating problems for you. Down here, you have your other son. You have Yuan Tan. He is unique. He is your eldest son. He has a relatively small army, he has some people, they're not great, but what he also has going in his favour is he's here to support Liu Bay, and you can use war coordination with these two to basically knock Cao Cao out of this area, because he doesn't have any armies in this area, so you can use them to knock them out. You also helpfully not at war with Zhangjiang whilst Cao Cao is, so this area can be yours very, very quickly through your vassals and allies, if you choose to make it so. Historically, of course, Zhang Bao was here and Zhang Bao would win. But for Cao Cao, Zhang Bao is in his court, but not fielding an army. So everything's working in your favour. Now, over here you have Gao Gan. Gao Gan has Cockle and is about to get royally arse-fucked by Shahudun, and there isn't much you can do about that. That's kind of what happened. Gao Gan got outplayed in that area. Frankly, he just got completely outplayed. Not by Shahudun, has to be said, but he got outplayed and got beaten. You have a job to go take Puyang, and in front of you is this army here led by Yu Jin and supported by Cheng Yu. Historically, you would cross, but you would only cross after Cao Cao was sort of up here in the region, and you would cross with Yan Liang, who would go to Puyang first and would fight a battle at Borma where he would die. And then you would cross again, this time with Liu Bei and Wen Chou. And then Wen Chou would die. First of all, Yan Liang would die to Guan Yu's hand. Wen Chou would die just in the battles over here. Yu Jin, Yue Jin, and Cheng Yu were guarding this area. Cheng Yu should be in Puyang, and Yu Jin, Yue Jin should be holding this ford and raiding and creating trouble. You would only cross when Cao Cao's main army was there, and then you would fight sort of over, actually, kind of over here? Actually, it's difficult to say with this map for Guandu. This isn't 100% accurate. But the game wants you to go straight over and smash Yu Jin, and you definitely can do it, and we're going to try that out in just 1 second. But what I want to do is discuss all of these cool things up here first. So first of all here, you can see we have lineage. Lineage increases. The more you upgrade, the more Captain's Armory things you unlock, as you can see here. Tier 4, Tier 5. So let's have a look at the Captain's Armory. Now here, Captain's Missions. If we apply this, costs us nothing. That's applied. This gives us Captain Missions. The Captain Missions, as you can see, is Pursuit Maneuver. If we achieve 100 kills with a Captain, then we will get reduction in upkeep costs for mercenaries as it goes on. If we recruit a new captain retinue 3 times, we get increased lineage, which is really quite useful if you want to do captains anyway. And win 3 battles with captains, and you reduce the cost of your captain retinues. Of course, with all of these, the more you do, the better your bonuses are. You also, if you spend some of your lineage, now I don't wish to spend any lineage because we're just going to fall down too far unnecessarily right now, though I think you could definitely get away with it if you're going to use your captain retinues early on. I'm not, because they're only in his army. But you can get guerrilla deployment, you can spend money on melee damage, melee attack rate, melee charge bonus. When you've unlocked increased tiers, you will get more stuff available as well. Unit training bonuses, attack range, and all the rest. Like all the different captain types you can recruit, everything can be upgraded here. You can also just rename your retinues as well if you want to, which is quite a cool, nice thing from that area. We also have the Imperial Intrigue, of course, which is a new sort of grand diplomatic thing they have brought in. It's absolutely fantastic. If you have enough favor, you can use it to create problems. The enemy of the Han, you can only do if you have the Emperor under your control. But what you can do is increase favor or decrease favor with different factions. So, for example, if we wanted to increase favor for ourselves, it cost us 5, but we would gain 15, which is a nice trick. Or we could, for example, decrease the favor of Cao Cao. For example, it would cost us 10, but it would reduce their favor by 15. Some really nice tricks we can play. And all of this actually affects diplomatic relationships with other factions as well, which can lead to certain missions, which we have none of right now, but the Emperor and the Imperial system can create missions for you that you complete to get more Imperial favor, potentially unlocking some other gameplay alternatives that I will explain more when we do our Let's Plays, but they can be really quite cool. It's difficult to explain in detail now. Faction Council has also changed. Now you notice we only have Guo Tu and Yan Liang here. If you move across, see we have different options to choose from based on the councillor. But bear this in mind, at this stage we can only choose one. So, were we to say Circulate Propaganda, select this, it's going to cost us 200. This works quite well because at this time, Yuan Shao was circulating a lot of propaganda against Cao Cao. So it works. Anyway, we can circulate propaganda and we'll get pop growth, public order for us, which is great. And it's only going to cost 200. What we can also do is incite scandal in a foreign court, which is going to reduce the satisfaction of Shu. That's 1,000. That's quite cool. Yan Liang is giving us Bohai Bay, where we send some pirate raids into Yangla for 500. That's against Gongsun Du. Or we can finance the Gulf of Tonkin pirate raids. Sorry, I was just reading that. I know the pirates in the Gulf of Tonkin are growing fat and bored. You can arrange it so their efforts are directed in the coastal settlements. So we can go muck up Shuxie's stuff here. Choose whatever you like whatever you think is going to suit you at the time. I'm just going to show that as an example. Everything else up here is pretty similar, as you would know. The court, we are only a second Marcus, so we don't have that much. Zhang He's a Chancellor, he's a Grand Commander, he's Grand Excellency. This is just, I don't know. Like they do this in the game to prevent dissatisfaction. But it's not accurate. These are not the people who would normally be there. Tianfeng, Peng Ji, Zhu Shou, like all of these guys are quite important. Chen Yuchong was actually a more senior commander than Yan Liang and Wen Chou. He was, in fact, the senior army commander of the forces. Yeah, so don't read into their titles based on what they were historically. They're just done for the sake of it. But we do have some quite cool people on the sidelines as well. We have Wang Xiu, who you will know, the righteous hero who was formerly of Kong Rong's faction. He has joined us. Historically, of course, he would go on to join Cao Cao after Yuan Shao was defeated. But he is a really solid, reliable battlefield commander as well, I should say. Honorable, loyal. He's brilliant. Tianfeng, forthright advisor. Mouthy, very, very mouthy, would get himself into trouble with how he spoke. Xinping, who is a decent commander, would become an administrator under Cao Cao later on as well. He's a decent commander. He's a decent battlefield champion in this as well. Xianpei, who's a relatively senior commander, again battlefield commander, would do an extremely solid job for a lot of these guys would join Cao Cao. Chong Yuchong, his satisfaction is really low because he doesn't have a position. You need to give him a position, but he actually was senior to anyone in this force bar the Yuan family. Okay, he was senior to all of them, apart from probably Zhu Shou, actually. I think they were equals. But Chong Yuchong was in charge of the supply lines, and he was incompetent and drunk. And through Xu You's information that he gave Cao Cao, he was cut off and killed by a lightning raid led by Cao Cao and some cavalry. Why he has such low satisfaction, I don't know. He stayed loyal. I think they should rework him. Cui Yan, of course, who would become a very solid friend of Mao Jie, who is in Cao Cao's faction. They have him here as an advisor. He was not. He was also an upholder of morals. His job mirrored that of Mao Jie, and they worked together to basically make sure that the quality of candidates were maintained when they were being recruited for positions within Cao Cao's court. Very important bureaucrat. And Guo Tu, who of course, the erratic advisor, I think is fair play. Yuan Shao had a history of listening to the wrong advice. And this guy is unobservant, reckless, and vain, and that works. There was so much infighting amongst his advisors, and Guo Tu was one of the people who was very involved in the infighting. Anyway, that is who he has. As far as ancillaries goes, he doesn't have all the cool toys that Cao Cao has, because Cao Cao, of course, has red hair. But, you know, random ones can sometimes be great. Anyway, it's enough of me talking. Let's go fight this battle that we wanted to fight. So, here we are up against Yu Jin. Yu Jin is good. Yu Jin is good. So we do need to be a little bit careful. Chong Yu is less good, but if we capture Chong Yu, he's probably going to become our best strategist. Out of all the people we have so far, he is better. Cao Cao's forces over here do have the Qingzhou Spears. He does have the Tiger Cubs, and he has, of course, Saber Infantry, which I love, and he has axes. And what they have been doing historically is crossing the ford, raiding supply lines, and delaying Yuan Shao's ability to invade. That is what Yu Jin and Yue Jin, who should be here as well, have been doing. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the fight. Okay. So, let's just pull everyone back over here so we can have a decent look at our new shiny soldiers. So first of all, we have the White Horse Raiders, who we know and love. Not as good as White Horse Fellows, though, frankly. Xiongnu Cavalry. Now, these guys have been in the game a little bit as well. They are really, really good shock cavalry. I absolutely love them. But they've mostly been in my bandit factions before when I've done Let's Plays. Here we have the Ye Spearman Vanguard. Now, these guys have all of these cool formations, and they shoot. What more could you want? Like, seriously, what more could you want? And here they are again. Yes, Vanguard Spearman. They are just awesome. Big, long shields, decent spear. I should probably say their spears should be longer because they're in the northeast, but I don't want to be too picky. When we start to look at the equipment and the weapons, we can get super picky in this game. We should just be glad that they are cool. The Liang Daring Infantry, these are our barely armoured apron wearers with swords, the convicts who were on death sentence who have now been recruited into the army. And over here, we have the Xiongnu Nobles. These are really quite good melee cavalry. I don't think they are better than the Tiger Cubs just because they are so slow. Like 62 speed, that makes them slower than the Tiger and Leopard heavy cavalry as well. But they can fight. They really can fight. And then more Xiongnu cavalry over here. In the back lines, we of course have our Vanguard Crossbowmen. So you can see they're similar to the Vanguard Spearman. They've got a big shield on their back, and they're carrying, as you can see here, this is a short Jian. They probably should have a Dao more, again, going into the historical stuff. The Daos were more prevalent in northern China. But hey, anyway, very similar type of unit. They could potentially be a front line unit as well, except they're weak against cavalry. Very solid soldiers. I do enjoy those. Regular archers, of course. Yeah, that is our new formation. Where is our big man? Here he is. And here we have Liang looking absolutely awesome. I love his hat. I love his fake Guan Dao. Of course, that weapon was not invented this time, but it is so iconic. You have to have it. And then Yuan Shao and Zhu Shou, where they should be at the back, not being all that useful. Now we are attacking. I'm not going to set up any of the toys. We're going to go all out for attack, make the use of our people. So first of all, we're going to have a shield wall, and you guys are going to advance in the shield wall. Oh, you're over there. You're over there, so we'll advance from over here then. No problem for me. You guys can be there. We have one of you here. But you know what? 1, 2, 3. You guys are going to be rear line behind. You and you are going to be here. You're going to sit here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 over on the flank. You're with them. You're there. You're there. Let's start. Advance. And you guys advance wide over here. They're going to start to advance towards us. His tiger cubs are good. They're really good. His Qingzhou Spears, they're unruly. They're good against cavalry, but they can't do formations or anything else like that, so we don't need to worry. The thing that is the worry are the tiger cubs and the saber infantry. Yujin himself will annihilate, and I do mean like properly annihilate, any of my soldiers in a duel. So we do want to avoid that. Just shift the cav over there. His spears are coming up now. Alright. I want you here. I want you here. Go, 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 go. Get to position. And form up. And form up. You know what? Form up. Ruin everyone's day. Get them, boys. Get them, get them, get them. Go, 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 go. Fight there. Now. You're coming over here. You're riding over there. You're riding around the back. I want them. You come. You get him. Charge, 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 charge. Good men. So I want to shift him just over there. You've got nothing else you can add. You boys. Advance up here, please. Cav in. Go on. Come down here. Support. You get them. You smashed. You've absolutely smashed. Good job. Right, you're not going to chase. What I want is arrows in the back here. You reform. You form here. You guys actually go kill. How are we doing here? Right, they've been defeated. Good. Go bring him down. You're going to bring them down. You are going in here. You are getting out. Good man. Charge. Charge. Okay, so cavalry's been defeated there, but that's not really a problem. How are you doing? Oh, I could have done a raw. Forgot about that. But you're killing everything there anyway. This charge. Bang. That's pretty effective. They're beginning to run. This charge, we've ruined that cavalry. Sorry, that infantry's life. You're going in here. Stick on them. Get in there. Stop being wet about it. You get in there. You're fighting them. You guys, you're back. Magnificent. Back over here. Chase and kill. Chase and kill. Nice. I think we got him. Right, they're dead. Smash in over here. You. Smash in over here. You. Gank him. And you can come over here and get rid of him now. So he's created a lot of problems. He is really, really powerful. He kills. He could see all of... not see all of our guys. He could basically stand for a long time against all of our guys. Because he's a sentinel, but you give him those twin weapons as well, and the discipline and everything else. He's really, really good. But you can win this fight. It's a little bit costly, but you can win it. 386 left. Hopefully we'll get Chongyu. We can capture him. See, Yan Liang did a lot of killing for us. Our cavalry did a lot of killing. Only problem with those Xiongnu nobles is they're slow. Very nice. So now we've taken ground here, which historically Yuan Shao didn't actually have to fight for. We've lost some Imperial favor because, you know, fighting. Gain 15 lineage. We'll release him. Very nice. So we've advanced here, and that now gives us access to Dong and Puyang. Historically, he never took it. He just kept advancing down because that was the situation at the time. Over here, what I would do just for the beginning is start to advance over on this in this way and defeat Jiangyang. But because you have time, you can actually move up a little bit closer, sort of kit your son out with a few cool toys. Now, for me, I love these. I really do. I don't think this Saber Infantry is any good, Saber Militia, when you have other stuff available. So I would perhaps swap them out for something better at a later date. But I just kit him out with some solid, reliable, hardcore troops and possibly some more cavalry to deal with the bandits. But it's up to you. You can sit there for a turn, just replenish and go. Over here, if you are to advance, you'll see that Tauren is here. Now, Tauren and you sort of cancel each other out. So you need to be a little bit careful about how you play this. You, with Zhang He, have a monster. Similar to Yu Jin is a monster. With Wen Chou, you have someone who is potentially good, but isn't yet, because you don't have any decent weaponry for him. And you have Shuyo, who is not a great battlefield strategist in this game. You are up against Tauren. Now, Tauren, he's not legendary. God knows why, but he's not legendary. He doesn't have any cool weapons, but what he does have is a really cool bow. Yu Jin, we know. Now, Yu Jin has a semi-decent weapon. He's not a bad duelist. And then there is Shuhuan. Now, Shuhuan could maul 400 men without breaking sweat. On top of this, if you look at the makeup of their army, they don't have too many of these Qingzhou troops. They have actually pretty solid, reliable sabers with minimal amounts of militia. Like, they actually have real archers, for example. The axe bands, yeah, they're kind of militia-y, and of course they have the mounted saber militia, but they have like the saber cavalry, they have sabers, and then they have these guys as their shock troops. This is a really bloody battle to fight if you are going to fight it. This army can win, of course. You have a couple of advantages. Your cavalry is not better than their cavalry, though, and nor should it be. Yuan Shao's cavalry was not better than Cao Cao's cavalry. Even having pacified the north, it wasn't. He had much, much more advanced and more disciplined and more experienced spearmen from his wars against Gongsun, but he, despite defeating Gongsun, did not have that much better cavalry for the experience. Cao Cao, however, had incredible cavalry at this stage. So what I would do here is just set up for an ambush, maybe kit him out with some more archers, because even though these guys have shields, archers are always good. See where he moves and then advance in and create havoc when you can. The idea here is that you want to push him out of Zhixian and Huaixian as fast as possible so that you can come to support Yuan Shao's main force. Yuan Shao, you're going to leave here and you're going to want him, like I said, to replenish and go in and deal with Jiangyang. The other stuff you're going to do is have a look at diplomacy, because we have so many vassals, right? This is our faction and this is how it should be, vassals and allies. So Yuan Tan, you want him to start basically using war coordination. You want him to start coming in in this direction, creating havoc and getting him next to Liu Bay so they can support. Yuan Shi, perhaps you don't want to use him just yet. You want to keep him focused on Gongsun-Du, just in case. Yao Gan, however, you do definitely want him to be in a position where he's going to take out Shuhuan. Liu Bei, if you know what's going on with Liu Bei, you'll know that Cao Cao has his army right there, and you want that destroyed. Gongdu is historically one of the ploys. Now, there's been several of these by this stage, but their job is to push north and take out the capital. So what you want to do, over here there is an army, you can't see this on this map, but there's Shuhuan. You want to go hit Shuhuan as fast as you can, because his force is pretty small. Remember to do your trade agreements, sort your trade out. Pretty much everyone under the sun is willing to trade with you, so that you can sort your money out, because otherwise you're going to burn money. I'm not going to do this now, you will know how to do that. You can sort out some non-aggression pacts with Sun Ce and Liu Biao. Certainly the one with Liu Biao should be existing anyway, because that was already in existence, but you definitely want to have a good relationship with him, because you could potentially get him involved against Cao Cao later on too, depending how things go. Sun Ce, I never trust that guy, but useful probably in the early stages. Military access, there's nothing you can really do, and peace, there's no point looking for peace with Zhang Yan when you can take him out so damn quickly. Another thing of note, here is all deserted land, and so is a huge swathe of this territory here. It is really, really worth, once you have cleaned out Zhang Yan, sending Yuan Shao over here, because you need to take out Cao Cao's forces anyway. But just to re-establish some of this territory here, you have this little fishing port here. Okay, you don't actually have a trading post or anything else like that. You're going to need to take it for yourself. Now, having access to the rivers, you've got a trade post here, you've got a trade post here. Take this whole swathe of territory here. Box in Gao Gan. Like, who gives a damn about this useless vassal of yours? Take this territory here. It's going to cost money, but you can fund it by bashing the crap out of Cao Cao in Hedong. Okay? Once you've taken this, once you've got the trade ports, that opens up more trade with the south. You can start to smash into the capital regions here, Luoyang and Chang'an, and then just advance to your heart's desire up into the north and against the likes of Ma Teng, who isn't that strong. Anyway, that is it for this preview. We're going to go into everything in a hell of a lot more depth when we do our Let's Plays. I know this is pretty basic, but because there's so much new stuff, it's more so than we've had in, I think, any of the other DLCs so far, where they've like this Imperial Intrigue is just incredible. It really is incredible. If you've got increased favor, you just get all these bonuses that work in your favor, like the anti-corruption, the satisfaction, the diplomatic relations, but it can work the other way and can really, really knacker you. And it's a way now that factions like Yuan Shao have of competing with Cao Cao with manipulation. Because Cao Cao's manipulation, even though they've updated it with this new schemes mechanic, which is great, it actually just adds even more power to what Cao Cao can do. Yuan Shao and other factions now can use this imperial favor to royally screw over more powerful factions or to undermine alliances. It's incredible. It's slightly slower burning than Cao Cao's manipulation, but I love it. I really love it, and we're going to see a lot of that in the Let's Plays. I've been playing a lot of this, and yeah, I have some serious stuff to show you with how this works in Let's Plays, but it takes more time than I can show you in these previews. It really does. I am enjoying these new bonuses, that like the schemes for Cao Cao and the Captain Armory 2. There's some cool stuff for Liu Yan or Liu Zhang, depending which you start in as well. And I'll show you that in his preview too. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.